Greg, really appreciate you talking to us. First of all, it was great to see you back out there on Tuesday, but it's also great to speak to you again. How have you been?
Yeah, I've been good. It's been good. It's been a sort of long road in ways, but a short road in others. So it was nice to be back out there and back on the pitch. It was a good feeling.
Let's have a look at the process. Of course, you were dealt the injury blow, and then where did it go from there?
Yeah, I think the first step was obviously to the diagnosis. So you need to figure out sort of what's gone wrong and why, and then work on, okay, how long I'm going to be out for. It was good because obviously speaking with Matt and we had it scanned, and then we went and spoke to a specialist who then kind of explained exactly what had happened and why we were going to then do the next rehab process and what were going to be the stages of coming back and things like that.
Yeah.
Which was good because, like, for myself, I was able to do a lot of gym work for my lower legs, even with being in a brace. So I spent 6 weeks in the brace, but doing a lot of work, like basically keeping up and maintaining all my muscles and things like that. Did a lot of work with Shawnee in that time period, and then transitioned straight from out of the brace sort of very quickly into the grass, which was good. Doing work with Luke and Gassan, and we were working really hard. So it's quite a smooth transition back into playing, and 2 weeks ahead of schedule. So I couldn't ask for more, really.
I was just going to say about the timeline. That's great to hear that you're ahead of schedule, but has everything else pretty much mirrored up to what the medical team thought in terms of the timeline?
Yeah, definitely. I think that we were looking at the injury and we're thinking, okay, well, the first 6 weeks are going to be imperative, and going into that knowing, okay, if we get this right, you never know what's going to happen on the back end.
Yeah.
If you transition smoothly with regards to muscles feeling all right, the leg healing well, you can transition from 4 weeks to 2 weeks, and we were able to do that, which is really good and massive help from the medical staff.
And then came through Tuesday, all good?
Yeah, all good. No complications, so couldn't be happier.
The manager said it was always the plan that you'd get about an hour, and did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I actually didn't want to come off, but I think it was definitely the smart thing to do. But no, I really enjoyed being back out there. Frustrated with the game and the result, but on a personal note, it's only back playing and I'm feeling good. So main thing.
And the cup focus continues with Buxton on Sunday. What do you expect?
Yeah, well, I expect a team who's going to come and give it everything. I think that when a team that's not in the league faces a team that is, there's always going to be the sense of, right, come on, let's be the David and Goliath story. And I think that it's important to maintain focus when you're the bigger side and make sure that no sort of slip-ups happen.
But you know Buxton well, don't you?
Yeah, we played against them last year in what can only be described as one of the hardest games condition-wise I think I've ever played in. But yeah, it was an interesting game by all accounts.
What can you kind of take from that experience in terms of the David versus Goliath? These things happen in the cup, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think that we were almost caught in a way that we thought it was going to be an easier game than it was. Obviously, conditions, wind, rain, all that, like how cold it was, didn't help. But they definitely came up and had a lot of fight about them.
Yeah.
And I think that knowing that these teams can come and give a lot of fight and give you a problem knows that you've got to take the game very seriously going into it, and also really focus on what you're good at, as opposed to even thinking, we're just going to turn up and they'll be fine. You have to really focus on what we're good at and make sure you put teams to the sword.
Yeah. And is that also what you made of the lads? You watched them against Bracknell, of course, and they got the job done there. Is that exactly the kind of attitudes they need to take into this one? Yeah,
definitely. I'd say a good professional performance is what's needed. It's easy when you're playing against in the cup games and things like that, when you've obviously got focus elsewhere and other places to not sort of worry about the game as much. But I think that looking at the Bracknell game, you went into it thinking, right, well, at the end of the day, we need to win this game to progress, and that's what we did. Showed a real good account of ourselves and just got the job done, and then on to the next round.
Yeah, and physically moving forward, are you just kind of feeling like you're going to get your game time and then build from there? Is that the plan?
Yeah, that's obviously the plan. I think that when you're coming back from injury, what you need is minutes to get sharp again. Training really helps because training is so intense, and it's really good to get that sharpness back into your legs and a lot of the physicality back in. So I think that for me, as many minutes as I can get to get me back up to speed and feeling 100% again is exactly what exactly the way I'd want to go forward. Yeah.
Finally, there's been a few games on in the canteen. It's into match day 2, I think, now of the World Cup. What have you made of it so far?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I think there's been a few shock results so far, and I think that a couple of the lads were a bit gutted because we were training at the moment, but we've seen what happened to Wales.
Yeah.
And again, I think that everyone wrote Iran off when they played England, but seeing them come back, and apparently they were very decent in the second half. So I think that there's been shocks all around. I'm interested to see how the next round of games is going to be. And who's going to go through? Because at the moment it's looking like there's a few giants, poised to be knocked out. So we'll see how that goes on.